impressive presentation this morning.
Thank you.
Very interesting background. Someone who has been a CRO and now is a CFO. Tell me, what was the biggest adjustment or the biggest surprise moving from CRO to CFO?
I think it's the understanding that there are actually many common spaces between risk and finance, and yet they actually operate under very different philosophies and very different silos. And you have a lot of spaces which just belong to both the CRO and the CFO, and somebody has to take the lead to bring it all together. And I figured in most organizations it falls upon the CFO to do that. So if you look at the ICAP exercise that most banks do, the internal capital adequacy assessment, it is really a joint effort. But what we need is a single owner to just pull the framework together and communicate a consistent practice that's coherent to the board and to the regulators. So that means we bring together people with different skill sets. We look at balance sheets, P&L, long-term planning with balance sheet planning together. And we simulate the impact of risk and capital on the balance sheet. So it's been a great experience to be able to cross the functional space and really add value to the firm.
So you almost sound like you're also the Chief Diplomatic Officer. Do you think that that's a valuable skill, your diplomatic skills?
I think at the C-level suite office, soft skills matter a lot more than hard skills, because if you are in a leadership position, it matters a lot. Who are following you? Do they see the vision that you're leading them to? And there's a lot of work, not just in understanding technical stuff, but understanding what motivates people, what motivates the business to sign up on your agenda, and just bringing people along on the same agenda.
Are you also learning or having to educate a lot of people at the C-level about risk, the relationship, or at the board level?
We do continuous training for our board members, but we have board members that are just impressive. We have a number of outstanding board members, and therefore the discussions at the board level are very rich. There is effective challenge, there is effective dialogue, and people understand the limitations of what you can measure, what you can't measure, and get down to actually understanding the risk drivers and talking about what action we'll take to mitigate some of those, and what kind of options we might want to consider if we don't really like how events will pan out. Yeah.
You strike me as being a wonderful mentor. Do you have junior staff that you help out in training them or introducing them to the role in risk management or in finance?
I try, because I think that's the job of every manager, and I'm actually very keen on this program that we've piloted in the bank. It's called a 2+2 or a 3+3. So by that we mean that if you have been in a role for 2 years, we think you can get a change in 2 months, or you've been in a role 3 years and you have 3 months to ask for another role. And I think that is important, because as we sort of develop people so that they can eventually hold senior leadership positions, they must have done many different things, have accumulated the business experience to make judgment calls. And that can only come about if we encourage our people to rotate, to step out of their comfort zone, to do things that they'll never otherwise do, and to really develop what I call a zoom in, zoom out type of perspective, right? So look at the big picture, look at the details, and figuring out what really matters. Yeah.
Very good. Now, as we get to know people better, we're always interested in what makes the risk manager tick. So are there anything that you do outside of risk management and finance that is interesting? Any special hobbies?
Oh, I think the hobby I have is just reading, and I'm just fascinated with history. I think history has a lot to teach us. And history offers a perspective that we think we're always doing something new, but it's always been done under the sun at another time.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Erwin.